Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. With your morning horners, ease your sip of chaga. Chaga coffee. My camera's not working today, so you don't get to see my lovely face. But you do get to hear the exciting news. Silver broke over its 100-day moving average, which is huge. Check it out right there. 24.67. The 100-day moving average is at, what's that, down at 24.52. So that's looking good. It might go back and test it, but I don't think so. I think the next thing is the 200-day moving average. Breakthrough that will give it the ability to test, according to the tech guys, the $30, $32 area, and then $50, and then moonshot. So I think we're getting there, and there's more evidence that we are getting there. Load up on your silver. I hear that silver retail inventories are disappearing again, so call Andy Scheckman today. Send Andy an email, Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com, and have him ship whatever's in inventory. You don't want to wait for anything. Whatever he's got in inventory. Andy, help these people out. Just say you're from Roto-Rooter, he'll help you out. All right. That's exciting news. I mean, it's sad that you have to get excited about $25 silver, one half of its all-time highs in 1980 and 2011. But we live in a rigged world with rigged markets. No exchanges has the true fair market value. That includes the stock market, the bond market, the gold market, the silver market. Silver is the most manipulated. From my 20 years of researching this, silver is the most manipulated market of all. Even the US dollar, 100% manipulated. Computers and derivatives have done that out of the trading, mainly out of the U.S. Treasury basement, a computer trading floor in the basement of the U.S. Treasury and the New York Fed. Those two working together constitute the Exchange Stabilization Fund. And remember, with the Exchange Stabilization Fund, you don't need money. They have unlimited derivatives they can throw at any market. So just keep that in mind as we go through the collapse of the old system. I think all markets, we're not going to know the price of silver in a little bit. We're not going to know the price of cryptos in a little bit. The key is, the biggest key that we've been, crypto people have been screaming for years. I've been screaming about the silver in your own possession for over 20 years. Get everything in your own possession. Nobody else can hold your cryptos. Not on Coinbase, nowhere else, just you. Even if you love the people who are holding it for you, they're probably not going to have the ability to transfer it. So keep that in mind. Bitcoin's been being dragged down, falling, and of course, when Bitcoin rises, Theta doesn't do anything; it goes down. And the reverse is true. So we had some Theta action this morning, which is beautiful. I love seeing Theta action. It's got a long way to get back into the top 10, up 5% when Bitcoin crashes. Just shows you how manipulated it is. I believe Theta will be in the top 3 at least. At some point, it might even pass Ethereum. And then who knows if it's going to pass Bitcoin. As far as market cap. Remember, there's 1 billion Theta tokens, and there's going to be 21 million Bitcoin. So it probably won't go one for one in the price of each token. But as far as market cap, yes. I do think Theta is going to be in the top 3, which would mean right now the total market cap for Theta is, where is it? Right here, 6.6 billion. And just to keep up, if everything else stayed the same, I think it would go to kind of where it would be where Ethereum is. So 483. So take 483 divided by 6.6. And you have, let's do it right now, 73x. So Theta has 73 times to go. Everything else staying the same, like Ethereum staying at the same price, no big Bitcoin run or anything. To catch up to where I think it should be, 73 times what other cryptos are going to do. So that's my take. Hey, I might be right, I might be wrong. So far, so good with those of who invested in Theta when it was, 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, $1. But remember, these exchanges are 100% manipulated, and they crash in the entire system. Who knows what the prices will be, because all the exchanges will shut down. Just keep that in mind. Remember, Theta has yet to go on a U.S. exchange. Why that is, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes with Theta. I think it is part of the good guys' plan for Theta to take over the position for a lot of these cryptocurrencies. A lot of what they do will be done by Theta. That's my take from all my research, 6 months of researching Theta and the remote viewing. Remember, on the road to Rue, we used everything. The remote viewing stuff, the Jenny Moonstone stuff, the Michelle Whitedev stuff. It all makes sense. And when you know what's going on behind the scenes, there's not just Theta Labs. There's other people behind the scenes that are advising and helping and getting Theta to where it needs to be. Remember, Theta did not ICO. And that's a big one. So keep that in mind. Get your Theta Fuel, especially for December. Jenny and I did a discussion that I'll be posting later today on the private road to Ruta. We talked about December and Theta Fuel and the Katy Perry concert and what it means and what it does to Theta Fuel. Really interesting discussion. Go check that out at the private road.com and the Jenny Moonstone readings. Get all of them. Check it all out. Great discussion on the Evergrande playbook. The Evergrande playbook, now we had some action in Evergrande. Those who don't know Evergrande, the largest in-debt Chinese real estate developer. China, this is part of the war. We are at war, and the wars with the CCP and the deep state. They are working together. So, of course, did Tether invest massively in Evergrande high-yield bonds? Of course they did. Of course. I heard Biden in last night's town hall said, we will. If China invades Taiwan, we will defend Taiwan. Biden is telling us we're going to go to war with Taiwan. We can't even handle Afghanistan. How are we going to go to war with China? With China. How are we going to defend Taiwan against China? We can't even defend ourselves against, the guys in sandals over in Afghanistan. So, yeah, and there's so much going on, and it's so much bigger than what they show us. Just remember that. So, yes, I do believe that Evergrande high-yield bonds are a big part of Tether's reserves, quote reserves, because they work together. The deep state and the CCP are working together. So that's Tether's part of the crypto cabal, and it's so bad. It's ridiculously bad. But there is a gigantic war going on right now. Cliff's calling it World War IV. I forgot what he said World War III was, but yes, I believe it. This war that's going on behind the scenes. And it's an easy move for China. And they decided right here, China's Evergrande makes a last-minute payment on the dollar bond. It was going to default this weekend, so they made a payment, $83 million. They made a payment of $83 million, a bond payment, just to avert a bankruptcy of $300 billion. So not a big deal. It might have pushed it off for a little bit, but the big money due is, let me show you right here, is coming up. In October, they have a 941 million won due October 22nd, $250 million bond due October 25th, 97 million. So this $83 million is nothing compared to what's coming. And then November, 400 million, 200 million, 200 million. At any moment, China could allow that Evergrande debacle to go off. And that will reverberate around all markets. Michael Berry did a discussion or wrote a paper on just how when the stock market's going up, all the mutual funds have to buy stocks. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. For every $100 that normal Main Street America invests, they have to invest $5 million. Or every $100 they have to invest $500. So it's a 5-to-1 ratio going up. What does that mean coming down? 5-to-1. They got to sell off stuff as the market crashes. So that's kind of the fire hose and Dixie cup theory. And I've been talking about this years. Everybody, if you go to college and you study investing and you want to get your Series 7 license to trade the stock market, you are told the percentage of stocks you buy, the percentage of bonds you buy, and blah, blah, blah. And that self-fulfills a prophecy in the stock market because everybody's buying the same thing. So, of course, they're going to go up. Now, when the reverse happens, everybody has to sell the same thing. We saw that almost happen in 2008. They had to get $700 billion to plug that hole. I've been saying for a long time, it'll take $20 trillion to stop the next crash. And I can't see Congress can't even agree on, what kind of toilet paper to put in their bathroom, much less how to bail out the banking system for $20 trillion. Elizabeth Warren would never allow that. So the collapse is going to happen. And I've been saying it forever. There will be no smooth landing. We have to destroy all the false representations of wealth, as Nostradamus says. Imitations of gold and silver will be thrown into the lake. It's a very famous Nostradamus quote to gold and silver lovers. What are imitations of gold and silver? Remember, in Nostradamus' day, gold and silver were money. That was the representative of value. What's money today? There's paper, there's electronic, there's stocks and bonds. That would be counted as money in Nostradamus' day. Those would all be imitations of gold and silver. But the biggest imitations are the derivatives. A $2 quadrillion market, 2 to 3 is what they say. They have no idea how big it is. It's so much bigger than that. Anyway, that's what's in store for us, I think, in the next couple of weeks. Hang on to your hats. There's no way that Evergrande's going to get past these. I mean, remember, it was an $83 million debt that they waited till like the 90th hour, 99th minute. 59 minutes, 59 seconds. Anyway, the last second to make a payment. It's just a payment. It's not paying off the whole bond. It's just a payment on the bond of $85 million. And then October, we got 250 coming up, 3 times that on October 25th. And then November, look at that, 200, 400, 200, 200, 600 million yuan. It's just huge, massive debt. And remember, these guys are going belly up. So they're not making any new projects. Only thing happening now, nobody's investing in them. That's what happens in a Ponzi scheme. When you stop putting money in, it collapses very fast. And that's what we're seeing. All right. So my advice, buy physical silver in your own possession, the number one safest investment in the history of the world. And number 2, get cryptos in your own possession. Now, I don't know what the price of silver will do when the system collapses. It could go to 0. It could go to -40. Same with all the cryptos. The cryptos are going to take a hit because of Tether and because the exchanges are going to shut down. No, if you can't buy the dip this time, you won't be able to. You won't have access to anything. If the collapse happens, as I suspect, none of these exchanges are going to survive. They don't have the coins. So even Coinbase will collapse. And that's what I expect to happen. So get your cryptos in your own possession. You're not going to know the meaning of value in anything. If Evergrande goes down and China can pull the trigger on that. They're the ones who bailed out the 83 million. So China can say, okay, we're not going to pay the next penny, and then all the bonds are in default, which collapses everything, which collapses Tether, which collapses cryptos, which collapses all the exchanges. And the silver shorts on the comics, they'll collapse as well. So you're not going to be able to know the price of anything. I know it sounds crazy. Crazier things have happened. The best thing you can do, get silver in your own possession. If you want gold, fine. You can get 70 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. And silver is much more valuable than gold will ever be in the future. Ever. Remember, every ounce of gold they pull out of the ground, they put in a vault. Every ounce of silver they pull out of the ground, about 60% of that gets consumed by electric cars, flat screen TVs, your computer, solar panels, you name it. There will be a mass clamor to get your hands on physical silver. So yes, silver is the obvious choice there. Don't hold any silver mining stocks. Those will all be nationalized, probably even by the U.S. The Fed Boston Roto-Rooter documents discuss that very thing, nationalizing stocks. Of course, they put it as a question because they know that's not a good thing because The government is the worst people to control anything. I mean, that's just telling a mind you're about to go down and be shuttered once the government takes over. But that's the world we live in. Anyway, again, later today I'll be posting the Jenny Moonstone discussion. Great stuff on the Trump new media thing. Great stuff on the coming craziness. Great stuff on silver. Great stuff on THETA Fuel that we discussed. Really interesting stuff. This is Bix Weir. I will talk to you guys
my
later.
friends. Theta Girl's on her way. That would fly to the sky, dump everything on her, let her take me so high. Well, she said her name was Theta, wanna go for a ride. All band expansion, always there by my side. She's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. I said go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Well, the 40X movie 2020 was fun. You ain't seen how high my little Theta can run. Coinbase will add 300 million or more. America will love her while they watch her press on. She's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. I said go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. You're my Theta girl, you really rock my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Well, my wife got really jealous, I love Theta too much. She said, I know it sounds crazy, I'm missing your touch. You're gonna have to choose, it's either me or your coin. I'm sad to see her go, but look where Theta is gone. She's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. I said go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. You're my Theta girl, you really rock my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Well, I believe Sarasi $1,000 or more. Everybody watching Theta partner galore. Samsung and Sony, Apple, Netflix and more. Google and then YouTube, well you watch it press soar. It's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. 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 You're my Theta girl,